with this Wi-Fi, I have to keep connected each time. I'm so annoying. Okay, 10 minutes to the end of the class. So I'm gonna need your attention at this point. So far I think everybody's doing a great job. You just need more time with this stuff, right? You just need more time, you need more reasoning, and you know, I will appeal to you, even when you're practicing at home, it doesn't cost you anything to organize a Zoom session with your friend, and you connect from your house, they connect from their house, say, okay, let's solve this together, what do you think? You don't have to be in the same place, right? You know, could be on FaceTime, you know, your MacBook, whatever. So please. So tomorrow will not be a class, like I told you. We just do something on our exam. All right, please listen. So this has been taken care of, right? We don't need to worry too much about this. This also has been taken care of. Yes or yes? Yes. This one, can somebody give me an idea? You change it, right? To what? You change to cos square version, right? Because cos 2x can be written in 3 ways. One is mix of sine and cos in square, right? Difference of 2 square. One is what? In terms of cos, where 2 cos square comes first, and one is in terms of sine. And since you want a quadratic equation in one variable, you really want it to be in terms of cos. So this is going to be 2 cos square minus 1. Then you have the quadratic equation, and the rest you continue. And cos is also bounded by this interval, please. Okay? So if you come across cos that is outside this range, ignore and tell us the reason why. But tan is not bounded. Okay? It's like a very stubborn child. No, mommy, I can't stay at home. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna fly home. Alright, and for this one, Linear and I were just looking at it. This also, you don't need to expand this. You can just break this down once. How do I mean break it down once? So this is simply sine 2x. Okay? And double angle for sine is 2 sine cos, right? So that is going to be 2 sine theta cos theta. And this remains this. You might be wondering, can we focus please? You might be wondering, do I now expand this and this and this? No. This is a variable. He's talking over there. So this is going to be 2 sine 2x plus 2x minus sine 2x. Can you see? Equals 0.
Can you explain again why we can't cancel or divide out the sine 2x?
Like divide like this?
Yeah.
Because sine 2x could be 0. Sine of any angle cannot go beyond this range. 0 is within that range.
So whenever 0 could be something we can't divide.
You can't divide. Just like divided by 0, which doesn't exist. Anyway, so then you factorize. Can you see? So this is one trig equation equals 0 in one variable, which is sine. Or in one trig ratio. Understand? The other one is also in one trig ratio. Now you have avoided mixing 2 together. That's why you don't need to expand both. Okay? Now, this is similar. If you expand this, you're going to get 4. 2 sine x cos x, right? Minus cos x minus 2 sine x minus 1. No, plus cos x, right? Factorize. Can you see? Can you see already? Cos x, 2 sine x plus 1. Minus 1, 2 sine x plus 1. Can you see? Then you factorize again. Then you have 2 equations. Does this make sense? Now, this is my friend. Very interesting guy. 7 minutes. For this question, I intentionally put this part. Normally, okay, if this equation was in this form, without being told, one of the tricks to solve, remember, this is not square and it's not double angle. If this was cos square, you could apply what you did here. Right? Now, if this was cos 2x, you apply what you did in number 7. But both of them are linear. Not linear. Okay. Both of them are linear, power 1. Okay? So we cannot apply this or that. We cannot apply 6 or 7, the idea. But what can we do? We can actually compress it. So that's why when you see a question like this, usually it follows solving equation. Solving equation will not be your problem. The problem will be compressing it. So let's go. Callista, I need your attention. Write this. In some question, it's like express. During my time of learning some of this stuff, it's always begin with express this in the form that. Okay? So write this in this form, no problem. Start from here. So k cos x plus a is k cos x plus a. What do we use? Cos x, cos a minus sin x. Perfect. Okay? So this is k cos x cos a minus k sin x sin a. Remember, you're now going to compare this with what? 2 cos x plus 2 sin x. Okay? This is this. This is this. If you are comparing, it means k cos a is 2 and minus k sin a is also 2. Okay? So when you compare, this implies that k cos a is equal to 2, negative k sin a is equal to 2. So this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. Now, the idea is, if you're going to write it in this form, x remains the variable. The idea is to find the value of k and the value of a. They are angles and a number, a scalar. Okay? X remains your variable. You have to find k and a. So you can see 2 equations in terms of both of them. If you divide this by this, k is gone, and you get tan. And you can get your a from one equation in terms of tan. Usually, this is usually less than 90. Let me see. Maybe I wrote something wrong. From my previous experience. Okay, unfortunately, they claim a is between 0 and so. I don't know, maybe I'm going to have 2 options. Anyways, are you listening? So if you divide, you get tan is equal to negative 1. That's for a, right? It doesn't give us k. But then how do we get k? You square and add. And you get k out of it. So let's do the square and add first. Square and add 1 and 2. When you square this, you get k squared cos squared a. So you are squaring equation 1 and adding to the square of equation 2. So you are doing that to the left and doing that to the right. So on the left, you still have another k squared sin squared a. On the right, you have 2 squared plus 2 squared. Am I making sense? Can you see that k comes out? Because when you factorize k squared, you get cos squared a plus sin squared a, which becomes what? 1, and this is 8. Yes? So if k squared is equal to 8, it implies that k equals square root of 8, of course, which is 2 root 2, if you wish.
Wait, you have to do plus, minus.
What do you mean? No, no plus or minus, this is third. There is a condition also that k is greater than 0. Oh, so it's usually we deal with the plus. But that's a good question. Now if you divide equation 2 by equation 1, divide 2 by 1, so you get minus tan a equals 1. Do I need to show why? Is it okay for everyone? Alright? So from here it means tan a equals -1. Tan of 1 is 45 degrees, right? So if it must be negative, then either it is 135 or it's 315. So there are two options. So 135 is what? Because this is pi, right? That's like what I told Brandy, if I'm converting 135. So I have 135 degree times pi divided by 180. Also, I have 315 times pi divided by 180. Give me the fractions quickly.
2 pi over 4.
Can somebody take this part so I can put in that spot?
And then 3 over 4 pi. 3 pi over 4.
1 minute to go. Before the food is killing.
3 pi over 4 and 7 pi over 4.
3 pi over 4 and 7 pi over 4. Please focus. Attention, quickly. We're almost there. So tan A equals -1 implies A equals arctan of -1, which gives 3 pi over 4 and what? Talk to me, please.
7 pi over 4.
7 pi over 4. You see, both of them are within this interval. So that's the problem I have, because now it means you are having two possibilities. So which means you're actually solving this equation in two different forms. But usually, from my own experience, it should be restricted to acute, 90. And if it is going to be negative, it will be restricted to something like between 0 and pi. So you are only making use of one of them, and not two of them. One of them being this one, not this one. Am I making sense? But now there is two options, then we proceed with two options. Okay, I'm just going to put you through. So quickly, so now that we have our A, already we have our K, what happens? You see, therefore, you have to express this in this form, right? Therefore, 2 cos x plus 2 sine x is equal to, what is K? 2 root 2 cos what? X plus 3 pi over 4, or 2 root 2 cos x plus what? 7 pi over 4. The idea is to compress it so that you don't have two trig ratios. Now we have just one trig ratio. So when you apply it to the second equation, which I'm not going to do, so solve this equation means 2 cos x plus 2 sine x equals root 2. This equation now can be written in two ways. The first will be 2 root 2 cos x plus 3 pi over 4 equals what? Root 2. The second part will be what? 2 root 2 cos x plus 7 pi over 4 equals root 2. So now it's more simplified. Of course, you can see root 2 can cross out. That will be 1 over 2. The only cosine of 1 over 2 is that periodic from 60 degrees. Okay? Then don't forget the range of interval. If x is within this interval, you need to know what is the interval of this. And just continue to add your 2 pi, just like the long one that we did. It might be long, just take your time. Okay? Watch the previous video on that to be able to see how we reason. Okay? So take your time. I'm not going to give you any compulsory homework or whatever. I'll be printing out those worksheets. You have the whole summer to practice some of these things very well. Okay? And the third week, if everybody comes for adventure, we'll now continue our trig again. Any questions? Thank you so much.